denomination, right? So what's your belief? What denomination?
I believe we are all one.
Everybody on the fire? All right, but you say can you Hebrew go?
I believe we're all
What's our denomination? What part of
I don't have a
Christian?
denomination.
Okay.
I believe in
I got a question though. So we all are one. So we all are one. We came here for experience. Like, why do so-called black people have to go into slavery, gotta go to slave ship and get beat down right by our oppression? Why does that have to happen? Since we all one people, why does that happen? Like these so-called black people. Right, but are those people the same as us? Are we still one? Are those people as
we all are. Even the people that are evil, and I have a, saying some part of
can I show you quotes about why people act the way they act? Let's keep going on this shit. I'm about to show you the King James.
Book of Job chapter 9 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The what?
The
Earth is given into the hand of the
It
wicked.
says the earth has been given over to the hand of the wicked. Now the question is, in today's society, in today's time, who runs the earth as a nation of people? I know what it is. Tell me what I feel like. I know what it is. Okay, so what color are all the presidents except for one? What color was all the presidents except for one?
they've all been white.
They were all white.
Yeah.
And when they was in office, right, they was the ones who was. They was
White.
the issue, right? The laws, the legislation.
I see everybody else. I see us all as
Okay. But no, before going to rent though, right, the question is, now the rent, right quick, I said, right, in that precept, it says the earth has begun to over, right, to the hand of the right? Who runs the earth? Like you said, all the presidents is right, right?
we are all
Right, why hasn't there been, the white man. Right? The Lord gave the earth over to the white man. Right? When he came to the power, right?
No, I do not believe that.
You don't believe that? You don't believe
I do
that?
not believe the Lord gave the earth to the white man. No.
I got you, no problem, right? Let me get the book of Genesis. I'm gonna go into, right, the end of
You're
it.
giving your power away.
No, I'm not giving my power. My power, no, hold on. My power resides in the Bible. This is my power.
You're
It's
a
my power
beautiful
source.
soul, as you are.
I got you.
And I am one of
I got you. So now you said color don't matter, right? Right. So in my blood. No, I'm with you.
in my world,
I'm with you.
regardless of what everybody else says, in my world, that's my
I got you. No, in that part be the same way. In that part. Because look, am I black? No, I say am I black?
No, you're not.
Right. So if I'm not, all right, I'm not black. They call us black, so I'm not black.
I don't want to.
You can call us black, but that's what they call us in black. Or they call us African American.
Oh, I'm not black. I guess you're not talking to black people. I'm not talking to black.
I'm gonna talk to you right quick. As a nation of people, right, what do they call us? What terms do they give us? If we fill out a job application, right, what would they call it?
Yeah, I get that. When you call them black.
Black or
I
African
don't like
American.
the bottom.
Right, and that's what. I got you. Are you? Did she drink a little bit tonight? Did she drink a little bit tonight? Has she been drinking tonight? It makes
A
sense.
little bit, but I am who I am.
It
You
makes
don't
sense.
understand. I have been on a very serious.
Come on for rocker.
I know what.
Says she off for rocker.
I got you. Right quick.
We all come here for experience. I have been a black person.
See that?
Hold on.
In
You got
several
you
ways.
right quick. 'Cause I don't
I
think
have been a
you
black
got you right
person
quick.
in a past life.
Stop touching him, please.
Right.
I felt like touching
All right, brother. You say, can you remember we the Israelites, so we're gonna keep God's commandments, bro.
if I can't touch you and you feel offended by that, I feel like touching you.
I really want to talk to her because you're not really listening.
Being able to say, I am one.
You haven't been drinking that,
And if you
but you
feel
kind
like
of more
you're not
understand of what I'm
but
trying
I
to
don't
say.
want you to not
But you kind of understand.
But I feel like
what I'm
you
trying to
should
say.
not
Because like you said, nobody, I didn't judge you. I said, I was trying to go into the affirm color. I tried to say nobody was black. Right? And you know, right? I'm not the same color for him. That's right. Right. So look, I'm not the same color as I am my color, right? I'm not black. That's right. So when she said she wasn't lying, right? We don't go by skin color, right? We go by God-given nationality, right? So like you said, you're a Native American, right? That's actually a new term, right? That's been placed on the face of the earth, right? So nobody's black, nobody's Native American, right? Nobody's a Chinese, right? According to the Bible, it's like an actual God-given nationality, a term that the Lord calls you, right? So what's your father's nationality? What's your father's nationality? Okay.
I'm a mix of things. I am an alien here in the United States.
Okay. You are alien here in the United States?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I'm foreigner.
I am a foreigner.
Okay, we're foreigners too. This is actually our land. Right? If you go into the history, you'll understand how the so-called black man, right, and African American man, right, to America by the way of slave ship, right? We just preach about the Bible, right? But nevertheless, right, we go by who your father is. So if your father, right, is so-called Native American, right, that will make that person Native American. If your father was white, that will make that person white.
No, my great-great-grandmother was raped by a white man
Okay, so
who
basically,
made me.
okay, so that's what I'm
I
saying.
appreciate the fact that you are also
Right, so now-
videotaping us
right.
right now without our permission. Without our permission,
Right, now in
you
the
are
Bible,
videotaping us. So I'm going to say that you are bringing up prejudice into our world. I am not, because I want all to live in the world equally, and you're not allowing that. Thank
Right.
you.
So now, when you go into the Bible, right, you find those terms like white, right? So like you say, I'm not black.
Yo.
Right?
Now,
And according to the Bible, right, it goes into us as being the Israelites, right? The Hebrew Israelites, right? So your nationality, right, since right, you come from a white man, will be an Edomite. You don't think so? So it's not an Edomite, right? If you say that white is a new term, right? Native American, all these new terms, you believe in the Bible, right? What term, what
I
nation?
never said I believed in the Bible.
Oh, I thought you did. You don't? You don't believe in the Bible?
I do not.
Well, you an Edomite, right? According to the Bible, you an Edomite, and the Edomites are going into slavery before they get to the black space in Native America.
Right.
So what happened to the black?
Slavery is
Hey, brother.
evil.
So, hey, brother, you got 2 minutes for God? You got 2 minutes for God? I'll praise to the Most High. What's your name, Gabe?
Keith.
Key?
Keith.
All right, got key to the street. Right, so, right, you believe in the Bible, King?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Right. So, right, and Key, right, what's your nationality, King? You American? Right? So, do you know where the term American comes from?
I heard a few different designations.
Right? It comes from a man named, right, Amerigo, right, Vespucci,
Yeah.
a so-called white
My
man.
bad, Ken.
Right, who conquered the land of Africa, right, during the Second Punic Wars, right, took our enemy, right, so actually we wouldn't be, right, American, right, and the Bible predates us, right?
You know, well, I don't want to cut you
Yeah.
off. I heard something a little bit different.
Which year, King?
So I heard some reasons
that Moroccan is the original name of America.
The American? You need second entrance to you. I got you. Now you got it.
So basically, well, let's say we got to understand about the Bible. With the ancient Holy Land, they speak of, where is that at?
Ancient Holy Land?
Yeah.
Right, the land of Israel.
Where is that?
Israel?
Where is Egypt?
Where is Egypt? No, Israel. Right?
I'm going to ask about Egypt first.
When you go into the Levant or the 4-hour crescent, right? Israel is right there on the Levant. And you got Egypt, right? When you go to the tectonic plates, right? You got the Arabia, Egypt, what's the other one?
Present day Egypt.
Tectonic plates,
Where's
right?
ancient Egypt?
Ancient Egypt? What you want?
By your understanding.
By my understanding,
Yeah.
right? It's over there in the Middle East.
Okay. My understanding is that ancient Egypt is in America.
Okay.
Okay. So start there, so we differ on that side.
Okay. So you said say that again?
My understanding through metaphysical studies and readings and writings that ancient Egypt, Ethiopia, which was twin continents in Africa and South America, the two largest black lands in the world. So ancient Egypt being so northern South America, Central America, much more.
So you saying America today will be Egypt?
America of the past
America of the past
will be the ancient Egypt.
Okay, the ancient Holy Land. America of the past. So who's the learner right in what you call Egypt? What people was the learner in Egypt according to what history? Huh? You can't answer that? That's the second answer for the thing. I got something.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and
This
verse
is our belief, so I can answer that right with the Bible person, so we can actually answer the history.
verse 40.
Bring it out.
Those are the 10 tribes.
Those are what?
Those are the 10 tribes.
We say those are the 10 tribes. So our beliefs and what we believe in according to the Bible, which is stands for the truth, right, is you'll have right the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And then you have the break off, you have the southern kingdom, you have another kingdom. Right? So another kingdom, right, it'll go from Ephraim all the way down to Naphtali. Right, will be a Native American Hispanics, right? So if you go into history, right, you know anything about the Assyrian captivity, you know anything about the Assyrians around 722, right? The Northern Kingdom went into slavery by the way of slave ships, right, to the Assyrians, right? They led them over the water, over the
tribes.
Right, this is from Ephraim all the way down, not Judah, Baker, and Levi. This is the northern. I mean, this is the southern, this is the northern. Right, so the southern didn't go to the captivity by the way of the Assyrians. Only
The Syrians
right,
are
the Assyrian people.
northern people.
No, the Assyrians are people that put our northern kingdom bullets in captivity. So
Where they
that would be
located?
what you say
Where they located?
over there at Assyria, over there in the Middle East, over there in Syria.
Okay. So these people are not white.
No, Assyria.
More melanated but not white.
Middle name did not white. Assyrian people. Right, so those are the people that took the Native American Hispanics into captivity. Right, so now watch this dude. Don't work, can you?
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and verse 40.
Bring it out.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own
Out
land.
of their own land. What land is he speaking about? Right? So our belief according to the Bible, that land will be the landmass of Israel. That's what we actually dwelling in. Right? You can go into the book of Genesis, go into the Garden of Eden. Right? And go into where really life would be started. What? Right? The landmass
I believe otherwise. We'll talk about this. I believe otherwise.
I got right. If I'm going to prove to you, he's going to do that too. Right? But nevertheless, I'm proving something to you according to what you do.
That's the question.
Hold on,
When
right
we say,
there. Right there. You put it.
can we go along with this? So better understand. We can just stop. Build. When we say life started, right? So are we using science at all in it?
No, we listen to the Bible.
I understand what you're saying. So I'm saying when we say life started, so are we going by the standpoint that so the things it takes to birth life are a certain amount of humidity, a certain amount of water and heat?
No, we go.
Yeah, even if you wanted to bring science into the equation, it would still be according to those areas in which the Bible speaks about. So you got what you would call, even when you read the book of Genesis, we talk about the rivers. You understand? That's not just one specific place. It's not just the land of Israel. The land of Israel contained in those places, yeah. But they stretch out from all the way to parts of Egypt and Ethiopia, all the way over into what you would call the Fertile Crescent, which is the most fertile land, you feel me, in
Okay, a question with y'all saying, because I'm knowing do a little bit of research that Egypt, President Egypt got his name, I think, less than 100 years ago.
You said Egypt?
Yeah, President, is it less than 100 years ago?
Egypt actually find it in the Bible predates that. So you can find it.
So like the term, the actual word Egypt before then it was referred. Egypt is a Greek word. So it's a Greek word. You go back to Mizraim. So that's what it was before people were saying the literal word Egypt.
And you find those terms find a complete. Like Mizraim and Macedonia. Right, so according to the Bible, right, which I'm about to get back to, right, in the book of 2 Ezra 13 chapter, right, I'm about to show you, right, the landmass of what America was called before it was called America, according to the scripture.
Reading on in verse 40, were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
Some Hosea is going into the time of Hosea, right, an actual king that ruled over the northern kingdom. Right, it's an actual man. Huh? No, over the northern kingdom. This is the Hosea, the actual king that ruled over.
Okay, so you saying these tribes?
From Ephraim all the way down to Naphtali. These is the northern kingdom. These are the tribes, right?
Africa.
No, these are the tribes, right, that came out of the land of Israel. Right, they went to captivity, slavery.
So I want to understand. You saying the Haitians, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, the Dominican, Guatemala, American Indians, Seminoles, Colombia come from Africa.
Right, so let me explain to you what I'm saying. Right, so what the brother just said, right, we go into the 4th country of Israel. Right, we believe that our people, right, was dwelling, right, in that land. Right, what happened was, our people was going off during that time of King Solomon. Right, they stopped keeping God for really Solomon was idolatry. So through that, a man named Jeroboam, right, it was a split. Right, so one person, right, they got the southern kingdom, which was Judah, and the other person they had the other tribe. And then later on, right down the line, you got Benjamin and Levi entering into, right, the way of Judah, which is going into the southern tribe. Right, so these all are Israelites.
Okay, so you say Israel, but you say Israel is presently Africa.
Israel is presently Africa. No, I'm thinking, like, showing you, like, what America was called before.
Oh, okay, so you're speaking to the name of America.
America now, showing you because the reason I'm bringing this out is I asked you, right, what people, right, if I'm saying I asked you what people, right, was dwelling here in the land that's Egypt. You said you didn't know, right?
Here.
Yeah, you said. I said, well, people was dwelling here. You said you
The
didn't
people
know.
that are here now.
Right, and that's what I'm bringing out to you, the original people of this land. Right, and showing you in the Bible history, right, that you can actually go.
Okay.
All right, okay, see you next time.
In the time of Hosea the king, who Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters.
He carried them over the waters, over there to Assyria, right? They was in the landmass of Israel, but he carried them over the waters, like into Assyria, right? Going into the northern tribe.
And so came they into another land.
Came into another land.
But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen,
right,
and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. Right? This is actual history going to, right? Because who was the first people they say, right, to enter into, right, the place where we standing at now? Who was the first people here?
In Northern America.
Right, Northern America. You call Egypt, right?
Yes.
Ancient Egypt. Okay.
The first people in Northern America are the people here now, right?
Right. Right, well, our people, right, but not us as a
nation.
As a nation. Well, not as a nation, but as a kingdom, right? So, like, you got the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. So, the nation, right, we are one nation, but, like, the northern kingdom goes to the ones, right, that was here first.
Okay.
Right, so let's read on, I'm going to show you the point. Read that one more time on that point.
In the time of Hosea the king, who Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. But they took this counsel amongst themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Right.
That they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Right, in their own land in Israel.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river, for the Most High then shewed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half.
Namely a year and a half to take them, right, to get into Assyria all the way to another land where never mankind dwelt.
And the same region is called Arthur.
It's called what?
Arthur.
It's called Arthur. Right, so you can go into that. Huh?
The name of
America.
is called
Right, it's called Arthur.
Right.
Arthur. Right, so that's where, right, and like you
It's
said,
called Arthur Bahum.
it's called Arthur.
Bahum.
Right, but that's what they call it. That's what they use.
So the people of the land called the land
But nobody just dwelling here.
in northern America.
Nobody was dwelling here in North America until they came over here. Like the land, right, is known as Arthur, right, so people use at the time.
Speaking of North America.
Where we said that now, right, the first name Arthur. Right, and like you said, right, the people that came over here, right, was our people. Right, we was the first ones over here. Right, our people going into, right, the Native Americans and the Hispanic men.
Okay.
Right, that's actual history, right, of them, right, being the first people, right, who migrated to this land. And that's actually history that you can find in the Bible. Right, that you can actually look up and actually go
And
into.
we say the Mexicans come from.
The Mexicans come from who? You said who the Mexicans come from? A Mexican come from a man named Issachar.
Right.
Right, so if you go into, right, the Bible, right, you going to a man named Issachar, right, and then, right, when they was over here, right, they went into the name as a nation, like the Aztecs, or the Incas, or the Mayans. But Issachar teach they was the Aztecs. So before they was the Aztecs, right, they was called the Israelites. They come from a man named Issachar. That's what they
Mexicans
call
are the Issachar.
Israelites.
Israelites.
Israelites from a man named Issachar.
Issachar is.
Issachar is the son, right, of Israel.
And the
Right.
Olmecs are.
Exactly.
The Olmecs are.
The Olmecs. We see the
The
Olmecs.
heads, giant heads.
Are you talking about the
First pyramid.
the first pyramid over there in Egypt?
So you saying, are you attesting this to the Mexicans?
I don't know.
He talking about, I know you're talking about, yeah. Those would be from one of those northern tribes. Like what they would call being nowadays black people. You're talking about
The Olmecs.
yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Giant
Some
statues.
of them, it's not 100% saying yes or yay or nay, but nonetheless, some reports they'll say, you feel me, it was black. Some reports will say otherwise.
So nevertheless, right, that's what we believe that, right, the first people that came into this land that was called Arthur, right, was, right, the Hispanic, right, Native American men. Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're saying from Mexico.
Right, well, no. They migrated into the land, right, of Mexico, right, what they call Arthur, right, they from, right, the landmass of Israel, but they went into slavery by the way of the Syrians, so they was dwelling, right, in that Assyrian area, right, and then after that,
Okay, the Syrian area is the Middle East.
Middle East, right. Right, I can show you.
No. I'm following. I've done a lot of reading.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm
just making sure I stay on track with what you said.
Right, so that's what we believe. Right, and being Israel. And we are, like, guys, we live, like, the land over here in Israel right now, it belongs to the black Hispanic Native Americans.
Because they went there.
Because that land was promised to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Since we are the 12 tribes of Israel, right, that land is promised to us.
But those 12 tribes, are you saying from there or from there?
From there.
Right, from there, and they were all transported here.
Right, yeah. Eventually, we all got over here. Right, when we go into the 12 tribes, right, they came first, right, and we can do it on the 12. I'm going to show you how we believe, right, how the southern kingdom got over here, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Right, according to the Bible, this is how we believe we got over here.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Right, so all beliefs in the Bible, right, if you go into that word Egypt, like the brother brought it out, moving through the spirit, it goes and translates to the Hebrew to Matzah. Right, but the Old Testament, right, is written in Hebrew. Right, so it translates to Matzah, or some people say Mizrayim. Right, so read that from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
So the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt. Right, so now in context, the term Egypt, right, it goes right into,
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 6.
Now,
I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt,
which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, talking about the Israelites,
from the house of bondage.
from the house of bondage. We was enslaved, right, to these pharaohs, to the Egyptians, right, and that's history, right.
And the Egyptians are?
The Egyptians are, right, they come from a man
I'm going to throw in a piece. This is from my studies, and from what I've read. So like I said, Egypt being here, right? So the second largest continent, or second largest place of the melanated man, black man, the Negro man, and many others, being South America. right? Much of the islands, much of North America as well, being the second largest tropical region in the world, second largest subtropical region in the world. So we know that everywhere we go around the equator, we find ourselves,
Right.
whether it be Australia,
That's in the Bible too.
whether it be India, whether it be Asia, parts of Asia that does have, you know, line of tropical region.
We'll be everywhere.
So I'm just, cause I really want to understand it like on some, like how you, okay, so we know that black people comes from all these different regions, right? So understanding the difference between.
We got scattered to you.
See that I can't, I don't want to disagree with y'all, but that I can't believe just because my scientific mind as well as my reading.
So right quick, I got something for you. Right, so when you go into that term black, right, you gotta get that straight. Right, they call us black, but we don't consider ourselves black. Right? Because you got other black people, melanated people throughout all the world. Right? You got your African man, right, your Sudanese man, African Sudanese,
Arab,
Arab,
Arabs.
Australians, right, all these people, right, would, right, be melanated people. But those people are not us. Right, we are whole different, right, people. Right, that's all.
I gotta say that I don't believe.
I got you, right? You get Exodus, right, 11 verse on the second. I'm about to show you something according to the Bible, right?
Show them,
But
okay.
you keep on saying what you don't believe, you got to start, because you don't believe it, or you got to start showing me something where you can make me believe something. I'm believing a source, right? So what sources do you have to back up what you're saying?
To be honest, to get up on the knowledge that I've taken in, you probably have to watch about, or read,
That's why.
watch or read. Now, the material that we go into is these primary accounts. The same way y'all using the Bible, we use the Bible as well as other writings and metaphysical. You know, all that ties into each other in historical accounts. Okay. So we'll give you
Okay. So I'm about to bring this out. The brother got a question, right? So right quick, right, I'm going to show you something according to the Bible, right, of what the Lord said, right, the difference between us, right, and the
my man right here. I don't know if you want to take a picture of it, but you probably have to watch 100 videos to really understand, to really understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
As well as Europe, Asia, the black community. So I got numerous pictures on my phone to show you that we come from all over the equator, you know what I'm saying? Like the same way Africa has birthed that man, America has birthed that same man. A little bit different, but very similar. I got Australia as well. You know what I'm saying? India as well.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
I'm gonna get two precepts for you right quick. I'm gonna let the brother bring out this picture. Right, you actually read verse 7 and we're gonna go to the picture.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Right quick, so in our belief, right, in the Bible, right, according to the Bible, that you have 18 nations walking the face of the earth. Right, you got the Chinese man, right, you got the white man, the Arab man, but the Lord chose one nation, and that nation will be the blackest man from America. Right, and I'm about to show you the difference between us and the Egyptians, right, according to the Bible. It's simply read, right, in the book of Exodus.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doeth putteth a difference.
What?
Putteth a
difference.
There's a difference
between the Egyptians
between the Egyptians
and Israel.
and Israel. Right, so that's a known thing. Is the Egyptians had us in slavery, so it's a big difference, right, between those people. Even in the Bible, right, it speaks about that in the book of Exodus, the second chapter. Right, when Moses was born, they said this is a Hebrew race. Right, born into the Hebrew Israelites. Right, they understand that he was a Hebrew, and he's from the tribe of Levi. Right, so even in the Bible, it shows you, right, the difference between us and other nations. And actually, if you go to a real African.
Oh, no, keep talking. I don't want to be disrespectful.
If you go to
I
a
should
real,
smoking a cigar, brother.
if you go to a real African man,
Yes, sir.
right, he will tell you that we are not the same people. Right, he'll show you,
Yes.
right, he'll tell you who he is, where he come from, right, his nationality, but we can't do the same.
We can?
We
I
can't.
believe we can. I believe our physiological differences in our DNA differences. Also, I will give you, we do some TikTok when we talk about the differences in the American black DNA and in everywhere else. So, if you want to, I can do that too. Y'all can dive in there. I'm
So
listening to y'all for sure.
that's the thing, right quick, right?
Yes, sir.
You gotta stop saying America black, because I don't believe that I'm black.
I'm sorry, I'm only saying black to designate who we are. I don't like the word either. I don't
And
call
that's
myself
what,
black.
and that's
I
what
don't
I'm saying.
think-
If you saying black, are you speaking about every black person, right? This
No,
on the face of
absolutely,
earth. So what black
absolutely,
people? So
absolutely
you more
not.
specific when you speaking on the term black.
So when I say black, I'm
so-called
just
black.
using that to say us, we, as far as the more, many different words, moreish, copper color.
In today's society, what people would you say is black people? So-called black people in today's society. The terms they use today, what terms do you use?
To be honest, I don't like to use the term. I'm only using it in conversation to say present day. You know what I'm saying? I don't use that word either.
So African American, right, black man, right, you have your real African man.
There's the Aborigine, the American Aborigine.
The indigenous people to the land, the real people, right? Okay, this is my fault, right? So we believe, right, that those are the Israelites, right? Because we don't go by the term black African American, we say so-called, right? So we believe that those are God. I said we believe that
No, I'm sorry. You say
so-called black people. Right? You say so-called black men, you understand the name of the color of the crayon. Like you say you don't like using that term. We don't like using that term. Like you guys going by biblical terms. So we believe that those people, right, are born to the Bible called Israelites. It's come from a man named Jacob. Right, that is saying Christian Israel, right, in Genesis 32nd chapter. Right, the brother had a question.
No, I was just saying, so do you believe, so basically you believe that over here is like, the map, the so-called map that they got now is not the original map, and you believe that this place is Egypt, where we standing at now, this is the land of Egypt, and then
a little further west, a little further down. So yes. So it's more plausible, expandable. I can't dig into that. Like, all right, so two things. So the story, the account that I've heard on the connection between the Aborigine, copper-colored American, and Africa, Northern Africa, being that, and Egypt, being that we went from here to there. Like, you know, many of the Egyptian gods are only American-based animals. The falcon and things of that nature, right? So that's my understanding of that, and the connection that we had to Morocco, and the connection that we had to Egypt, as well as Europe. So black Europe, the European Aborigines are of our same color. Second, what did you ask me?
I was just asking you, like, so do you think America is Egypt?
Well, I think America is, yes, I think America is, so I think that book is deciding other places where, but when it speaks to the ancient Holy Land, it is talking about the Americas, yes.
Right, so what, like, how did you get to that conclusion?
Just the same reading. Same reading.
Yeah,
So
no,
being
for
taught,
sure. So,
I'm like,
like,
being taught.
Yeah,
not,
I'm just saying,
not
like, give us, like, one, like, little nugget or something,
so
that we can kind of
first and foremost, we talk about taking someone out of Egypt. We talk about the ancient Egyptian God. We talk about who the ancient Egyptian gods are, and that being that they 9 out of 10 come from you can only find those animals here in the Americas. Or for instance, the usage of corn, which is indigenous to the Americas, right? And then also the account of how Morocco was created and Haiti, for instance. Haiti had a larger landmass, but then just that small island was kind of the nucleus or the capital of the larger landmass, which is much of like Florida, Georgia, Virginia, Louisiana, the islands, many of the islands, much of like Venezuela, much of northern Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I truly believe. Because now you can definitely say some of that blood maybe comes here, but most of it from the accounts that I've read from the ship and all these we went there. And even the historical records as far as the Egyptians, as far as like the Egyptian gods are the same as the quote unquote Mayan or Aztec gods. You see what I'm saying? It's more so kind of like the oldest pyramids. If you find it across the line, right? If you go to all the pyramids across the line, you'll notice that the oldest pyramids start here in the Americas, and they go across the line as well as in Asia, India, and Africa. So it comes all the way around. So if you go into the actual the readings you'll see that everything points to, as well as our DNA, points to American history.
Okay, so you believe, it's not like well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not like you don't believe in the accounts. You just feel like that. Basically, the geography for you is different. Like, do you believe in the
I haven't
accounts
gotten
of,
that deep into the Bible. As far as to believe, to truly believe and use it as historical record.
so, for example, like the brother was going into Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Prior to that, you had the Exodus, in which it was a mass migration that happened from the land of Egypt,
Right.
from Hebrew Israelites, right? But multiple different other nations have accounts of people. They call them different names, like Shazu people. They just would call them the Shazu people. You had other nations who would call them the nomads, right? Which are like herders or people that own cattle, because that's what the Israelites, right? People that was known for doing things like that were cattle. You understand? And when you read this, when you read the earlier accounts in the Bible, like the first 5 books, you see how the Israelites, they moved around a lot. You understand? Like everything didn't just start. We stayed in one land, and that's where we was at from till now. Like we moved around a lot. Like we were just talking about that earlier. So you see all these accounts of these people doing
But
that.
then we have to get to I'm sorry, you got to get to the understanding of the mass. When you say mass, do you mean 100 million or do we mean
By
100,000?
mass, we talking about our people that's on this sign right here. The Hebrew Israelite. It actually
Everybody
tell you-
just got up and left.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and now I'm not gonna say 100 million because
You know
even
what
in
I'm
the
saying?
Bible it don't tell you 100 million. It tell you it give you a number, but that's going into the number of the armies that they have, meaning men. That didn't account for women and children and all that. But I'm gonna go on the limb and say not 100 million people. But my point of even saying all that is, I was asking you if you believe in that or not, because you got these other sources that back up the count of that, like chariot horses being at the bottom of the Red Sea, like other Pharaoh, Egyptian Pharaoh. No, I said that back, but Egyptian pharaohs. You understand, who wrote about those times, or whose stories on hieroglyphs about a man at that time. They didn't call him Moses; they would call him something else in the Egyptian name, but it's the same story. You understand, about a man that rose up. You got accounts that talk about Joseph. You understand, and how a man rose up in Egypt to save Egypt from the drought that they was going into. So, like, with those things coming into play,
And that being said, Egypt being that portion of, I'm gonna get it wrong,
Africa.
so I have the other way around.
Yeah, I know, that's why I said,
we're speaking
I
up
know.
here, and the major, like, all right, even in Africa, it isn't a drought right now, right? But there is a drought, it has been a drought for instance, what is it? The desert out here that they don't have. What is saying? What is
out
it?
here?
Talking about Death Valley.
The lady came and gave us all that.
She did drop off.
Basically the west of America.
Over there by like Nevada and all that, Phoenix and all that, Arizona and all that and stuff like that. Yeah, and I mean, there's no dispute when it comes to that, but my point of that is just like the accounts that coincide with the geography, as far as, okay, we got Mount Sinai being burnt at the top of it. You feel me? You got, which is over there in the Levant area. You understand? You got the crack rock, right? You got the cherry hills at the bottom of the Red Sea. Like, you have these certain things that coincide with, okay, the Bible saying, and the accounts of the Bible saying, these things are where it happened. Then you got maps saying, okay, this is where these things are located. You even talk about, like, even the account of Sodom and Gomorrah over there in the not necessarily Levant, but over there on the eastern part of the world, where it goes and talks about how you got a residue called Trinonite that's on the different vessels over there in that particular place.
Actual vessel.
Yeah, and on the pottery, on the old, even though they like tore it out and all that, but on the vessel that's sold over there, you got burn marks from the I will deny. Oh, real fast, let me just finish this real quick. Like, my point is just like the overwhelming evidence that point to, just like how you say, you know, evidence, that you would say will point to over here, like, it could go point for point, got an aim over there. and that coincide with the Bible. So like, if you would say, I won't say that about you because you didn't declare that you believe in that or agree necessarily as far as the Exodus amount of this. So I won't throw that on you. But it's just like, okay, so if that's the case, my question would be something like, okay, so where is that sea part at over here? That they crossed. Yeah, that they crossed. On the river that where is that at in America?
I guess it could be anywhere.
Right, but that's the thing. I know you said you didn't get that deep in that far and stuff yet, but that's would be one of the questions that somebody like me would ask to try to coincide and make it make sense with what the history that was written. Ultimately, we believe that this is just history at the end of the day. We believe it's a record book. So it would be a point of, okay, so how can this place over here coincide with the writings that we have? Because it coincides with the writings that we have right here over there on the eastern part.
I'll tell you what, I'm not the savant on it. The guy that I showed you, he is. And I said that I watched a bunch of videos, man, and I started with originally getting into Eastern heritage, Cherokee background, whatever. Then I got deeper into American Aborigine, and then I got into, his name is Romeo, I got into him, and then I Then he later started breaking the Bible down and different types of accounts and we get into these different names and everything like that. So I'm like, all right, this makes sense. Everything starts to make sense, especially with the whole Egyptian thing and everyone, the different fruits and vegetables and
that's another thing too. I wanted to the last thing. That's another thing I wanted to address too. Like we look at it according to being native here,
yes, sir.
But we got to think 3,000 years ago.
Right.
Egypt didn't look like how it looked now 3,000 years ago.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? There was vegetation over there that's already there. And I know you talked about science earlier. We delved into it a little bit, but that's not like what we hang hats on as far. But like it was vegetation over there. Babylon. You feel me? It was vegetation. Babylon was looked at as one of the most beautiful empires of that time.
I think that might have something to do with South America because I mean, regardless of the day, if you look at the terrain, right? I get it. So I say science, but I get science study.
Well, I'm just saying, real quick. Now I promise you, listen to what you got to say. I'm just saying, over there, literally, where it's claimed to be Egypt today, it's a fact that it wasn't like how it was now. It's traces of vegetation over here. Corn, even now, I'm not saying that corn is not native to here. That's what I'm not saying. But like, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that corn was over there. Yeah. I don't think it's far-fetched. I mean, they had cats over there during that time. When they fought against the Egyptians, I forget who that was. They fought against the Egyptians. They threw cats in the battlefield because they understood that they wasn't the god. That's a real account of the battle that or the war that happened. Right. So it's like it's not like none of the animals was over there in Egypt or they couldn't grow corn in Egypt. Like these are things that like have happened. But like I said, nonetheless,
yeah, I won't deny any of that. I just I think more so it's so like fragmented. That's the right word. Things get fragmented throughout history and things get hidden. I think throughout the last 100, like a lot of the research I was doing from 1900s, 1903 to about 1925, a lot of stuff got switched up, turned around, and hidden with the Freemasonry and blah and people with that. So that like, I think that's where a big portion of, I could be mistaken, but I think that's where a big portion of the widely exaggerated Negro slave trade thing kind of gets. I think slavery is going on from a lot of different people, but as far as like 40 million, 10 million people being moved out of the community.
When you say that, we actually got history on that too. Like actually history going to the slaves to the different people that got all those slaves. Like going to the children, like other ships that they actually found, like going to the history of how we got started, how to bring slaves to. So what we believe, the actual history, in fact, like that we can be able to prove on what we say.
So we talk these slaves we're talking about.
And also, real quick, to let me back off what he's saying, like that, like all those things, like the vessels and stuff that you still can find nowadays over there in Mobile, Alabama. Right. The Catilda shit, and so many others. The Jesus shit that was funded by the so-called Jewish man. You see what I'm saying? So on and so. It's a list of over 100 different vessels that was funded by the so-called Jewish man. But nonetheless, what we all in Hebrew Israelites, for the most part, do agree with is the number. We're not saying that it was a 1,000 people on one ship or it's it's
Yeah,
800 people on the ship, and no, we don't like that's it. Say no, we can. I wouldn't even say
I'll
that.
tell you what I really do.
It was real quick. Even if it was like 300, say it was 300 on the ship, you had many of those that died on the way here, right? So as far as those numbers,
let me talk real quick. So my whole thing with the transatlantic slave trade, right? So we pointed to the scientific notion of the brown man, the copper colored individual coming from everywhere, right? So when you start talking about a slave trade, right, and we start talking about business, when you go back to these standpoints in time, you know that they had transcripts of different things, manifesting different things, and they kept note of different things. They had the London companies of Virginia and different things of that nature. So it wouldn't make sense business-wise to let in the slave. That is the number one commodity. It does not make sense to take someone from another land in the limits of the billion.
From here, I love it.
So when I get into all this different, like, when I get into this different stuff, I try to use my, I don't want to say the word intelligent, I try to use my logical or just to separate things so that you understand it. So if you can show me, and then, by the way, also in like 1700s, 1800s, we also have traditions of people were moved. And a lot of times, those workers, slave meaning Slav meaning worker, someone who does work or someone who works for a company, they're owned by the company, right? These are ownership for the company. These people were moved around and they were heavily described many times. So when these people came into ports into the Americas, they sat there and they wrote down who these people were. I won't say 9 times out of 10, but vast majority of the time, these workers were not the Negro of the Eastern Hemisphere, right? So, I got lost a bit. Boom. When it comes to the commodity of a slave or a worker, right? First and foremost, we all can, I guess, attach to if you're talking about land here, you're talking about people who work the grounds here, right? There's also an Indian slave trade. The Indian is synonymous with Negro, Negro being synonymous with that's the two different people. So when we start talking about people being moved, it just doesn't make sense business-wise, the story that they gave. And there is no evidence to support it, that they changed people up by the hundreds and by the thousands under the ship with no food or water for months, moved some over, brought something, just doesn't make sense. Now what does make more sense is the long connection, right? So if we look at Southern America, right? South America. And we look at South Africa, right? There's some close proximity between these two places, right? But if we look at everywhere else along the equator, there's much space between. Now, if we look at the north, right? So they won't, many won't say it, but many of the same way of the DNA matches in Europe, right? Between, and we know that don't even all this, the lighter skinned Asians, what we call the Asian man, the Chinese man, the lighter skinned Asian, the Russian, the European, right? Europe. You gotta remember that Greenland's up top, right? And then you come down into Canada. And then you come down into North America. And then you go into Central America and the islands, and then you go into South America. Right? So there is a long-standing connection between the blacks, the indigenous men of the equator of the Americas and going up. Right? So these are it's like a parallel. Right? Parallel, horizontal, 3D, 5D, 6D. So I think about things from every single direction. Meaning, it can't be so simple that this one-way story that someone was brought here and brought there, but we know that the same man, like you can easily, I don't know for sure, but you can easily have, depending on where some of your people came from, DNA from the kings of Europe, right? Or the kings of South America. Or you can have the same difference, or the kings of Asia. The old Asiatic man. I've heard all different standpoints of it. The Bible thing, to me, the Bible is sparse. Reading it, it's very vague. You can suppose it this way and that way. In my opinion.
I got something for you right quick, brother. I know that the Bible is 52. But the things going on in the Bible right now, right, this is what we believe is called prophecy. Right? So this, right, we can't nobody, right, disagree with because it's coming out the Holy Bible.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 23.
Bring it out.
All these things
What you?
But verse 33, I will yet pour out doctrine
I
as
was getting proud. What?
How we?
doctrine
Doctrine.
as prophecy,
As what?
As prophecy.
Prophecy.
and leave it to all ages forever.
Forever, right? The brother was saying Jesus, like this Bible is our history book. So this is how we supposed to know, like the things that's going on in today's society. Like if these prophets, instead of things that's going in the Bible, like that's how you know that these things are true. Just like when they said the Euphrates River, right, drying up, right? People, right, they can't understand why that place is drying up or why the waters are drying up. But it literally tells you in the book of Revelation, right, why these things is happening for the way, right, of the last battle, the battle of Armageddon, right? So that's what the final battle going to be in, right? And there's many other prophecies, right, that's in the Bible, right, that prove to you, right, how this Bible actually is our history, but to help you go by it, believe it wholeheartedly, right, 100%. Right, so yeah, I just want to say that right quick.
Yeah, nah, that's true. I was just gonna say, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, like I would encourage you to, you feel me, dive in and do some studies, you know, on the Hebrew Israelites as well, like you're doing with that too. So obviously, you're a brother that's seeking knowledge and want to learn.
I got so confused. I got to slow down, man. I think I might give you some money, man. I slow all the way down, man. I said, but
Now keep going.
every now and again I stop listening.
Yeah, you feel me? So like, I would encourage you to, dive into that as well.
But again, Hebrew Israelites come from
Hebrew
Abraham.
Israelites come from a man named, well, Hebrew come from a man named Hebrew, right? So break it all the way down, right? Hebrew come from a man named Hebrew. So we got other people on the earth that call Hebrew. Right? Israelite come from a man named Jacob, who named our sister Israel in Genesis, the 32nd chapter. Right? So if you come from Israel, that will make you a Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. That Israel is a Hebrew.
Israelite is Israel, an actual man named Israel, an actual man.
No, the place. Where is the place?
Oh,
The place of the speaking.
Oh, they come from there.
So they
Well,
came
I know
from.
we probably gonna disagree on that term, but that's what we believe is Israel. Like the brother break it down to you, like the Genesis, the river, like to the garden.
So like, I'll say this
I just
too.
told them
Your assumption or study, I don't want to say something, but your study on like things will change or match make it different. Like it's not like it's like far-fetched or whatever the case may be, because even the map, when you look at Israel and what they ended up with, it was originally more than it was more vast of a land than what it would be today. Yeah, modern day Israel was more vast. Like I said, when you read the book of Genesis, it go into how vast and how far it stretched forward.
I'm about to go check out another spot. As far as like our connection with Northern Africa, what I heard, our connection comes from. See, I don't know about the Israel thing, but I do know the whole America. Like I guess you could say Ghana, Morocco, and that's going there and bridging with them. And building the pyramids and
What we talking about,
It's
man?
too cold, bro.
Alright, can you say, but like you get a fire?
Yeah, I got one.
You got a fire? Alright, so check this out, King. We are here every Friday and Saturday, right? Preach to the people. Right, so you be safe and understand that we are Israelites, right? You can look into that, right? You can read more of the history of where you come from. Right? Alright, King. What's your name again? Keith. Alright, we are the Israelites, King.
Honestly, I'm not disagreeing with you, man.
So what's your name, King?
Jordan, you trying to just pray over me, bro?
I got you, King. Right, before the prayer,
Okay.
can I show you something right according to the Bible? Right, of who we are according? Right, according to the Bible, right? So what's your name, King? Jordan. Michael, right? So, right, since you say pray for me, you of course you believe in the Bible.
Yeah.
Right, so, right, what would you say your nationality is?
Black and white.
Black and white, what's your father?
Black.
Black, how about you? Mike, African. What tribe?
The country.
Who?
Country.
What tribe? Right? Right, okay, so you say your father is so-called black. Right, so in the Bible, like, you don't find the terms, right, African American and black is referred to as most of people. Right, the Bible predates, like, the terms, right, in today's society. Right, so of course, the Bible, right,
That's my point. So the DNA
right,
says,
is a racial people.
that's my point
Right,
about
that's
the
what we're
DNA.
trying to
They would
use.
say
right? We started people to show our people that we're not African American. We're not black. Right? We got so-called African man right here in Africa. Go over there to Africa, that's what we got took from them. Right? We got people like the Yoruba tribe, the Ashanti, right? You got Igbo, right? You got Fulani, right? You got people, right? The parties of Africans, right? Right? Israelites. Right? And that's how we trying to show y'all according to the Bible, right? With this stuff. Right?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can.
Where's the people of Ethiopia?
Where's the people of Ethiopia? Yeah. Right? Well, the people of Ethiopia, right? They come from a man named Hill.
Kush.
Right? They come from him, right? They go into, right, like you said, Kush. Right? So they'll be heaven. Right? So we, right, will be, right, the Israelites, right? We need to have death. Right? So we read the Bible. Right, so in the Bible, right, you believe in the story, right, of Noah. Noah, we got sitting here in the desert. Right, you know about that
I
shit?
believe in the Bible different.
So
The stories in the Bible are not real stories.
They're not real
Some
stories?
of them are just teachings.
They're just
Like,
teachings?
I don't believe that Noah really built the ark.
you don't believe Noah
It was a
was
metaphor.
well, right, you got actual, right, matter of fact, you look at it,
He isn't.
Right? Right? But can I show you right quick according to the Bible of stories that how we can show our people, right, that these stories are told to be true? Can I show you right quick according to the Bible? Right, 28, right,
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
now this is a prophecy, right? The Bible is still a lot of prophecy. Things, right, you know what a prophecy is? Right? So this is what I'm about to read. Right? So read that real quick.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into
It
Egypt.
says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt." Right? Now that, right, is synonymous, right, for bondage, for slavery. It's translated to the Hebrew, right, to Montagaram or Mizraim. Right? The thing is stuck to the rock and the hard place. Do y'all know the story of Israelites? Do y'all know the story about Israelites?
Yeah, I know.
Right. Moses was the colonel said, "What? Let my people go. They're what? They're enslaved. They're in bondage, right? So this term Egypt right here, it's not really talking about the Egypt that they just left from. You gotta understand, right? This is Africa, right? Exodus. They already left out the landmass of Egypt. So it's not saying I was sending Israelites right back into the landmass of Egypt. He's showing them a prophecy saying, right, how you go into slavery again, right, in another place, in a different area, right, by slavery, right, bondage and servitude. Right, does that make sense?
So you should be in Egypt mentally.
Right, not
Not always physically.
Not physically, but
it's
mentally
Egypt.
you can be in Egypt.
I wouldn't say mentally because it's synonymous. So when you go into that term, right, Egypt is synonymous right for slavery. Not going into the term of what that actual place Egypt was, right? When you get Revelation right, in verse 8.
So what would I do?
I got you. When I read this, it's gonna all make sense.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8.
Bring it out.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Which is what?
Which is
Spiritually called Sodom and Egypt.
It says it's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Right? That's spiritual. Right? He's not talking about right the real Egypt. He's talking about another place. But physically, right? But it's symbolic for their country. That makes sense. It makes sense. I got you. It makes sense.
And the Lord, back in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into
The
Egypt
Lord shall bring thee into slavery
again.
Now, he said again. Right? Why is he saying I will bring you into slavery again if he's not talking about the Egypt that was during that time? Because it's a prophecy. Right? What Egypt is just speaking about now in context. You know what that Egypt is. Right? How did the black man, African American man, right, get to America?
Northern America.
By what way of transportation?
I'm just saying
By what? Yeah. Evidence. Slave ships, right? That's how the black man, right, got to America. Right, now watch the policy of what Moses said would happen to us, right? He got to Well, I'm saying going to the term black. We don't go right by skin color. It was melanated people already here. Right, once melanated people already here, that was all of us. White African people that were African. Right, when we doing some term African right here. Right, so you going to the term African American, like those are new terms. Right, so what I'm saying, right, like when you say black people, like there was melanated people already here in America. Right, those melanated people was the Native Americans, right, and the Hispanics. Right, they was the ones that was first here. Right, the Africans. Where did they come from? They came. Where did they migrate from? They migrated from Assyria. Right, then they came from the land of Israel. They got took them to slavery by the Assyrians. Right, and then from that, right, they came into the way of offspring, right, which is called America.
You see the hair as well?
Right, so that is how, right, the Native Americans, right, Hispanic men, right, got into this land, man. They wasn't the first people here, right, which is not wrong.
Right.
Right, but nevertheless, right, you can call them so-called black or melanin.
I have a question.
Right,
Might be a little bit.
I got you. Right quick, let me finish to bring it all home, and I got you.
Bring it on.
And the Lord shall bring thee into
The
Egypt
Lord shall be thee into slavery
again with ships.
with what?
With ships.
Ships. Right, you just said the so-called black man got here by the way of slaves. You did too. A black man got here by the way of slave ships. So the Lord spoke around 1406 to 1446 BC saying, right, the whole nation of people were going to slavery, right, by the way of slave ships. Right, Egypt is synonymous with slavery. So it's talking about the land mass that we are, right, of the land that we're in right now.
So this is new.
Right, well, America, right, but
America's
right, you said it. Right, if you look on the back of the bill, you see what?
where it is.
Pyramid.
Let's say it's
Synonymous for what?
now we
Same
trying to
people
do
that build up the pyramids, the same people that build up, right, right.
So we know
So-called black people. And that's where our belief is, and that's how we know, right, of how we are the Israelites to the person. Right, but you gotta do it.
So how can we
So like, do you believe in the same like God and everything? You think God is the same?
You think, do I need God?
Yeah,
Well,
you
it's
think
only
there's
one
one
God.
God.
It's only one God. Right, it's only one God. Right, that's it, that's all. You don't believe in the
I just know people be living in multiple
yeah,
gods.
that's called idolatry. Idolatry. We don't believe in
this is evil. And it is
I understand that. Believe that what you're saying.
when they came
I feel like there's a history.
if the word is contracted by enemy, right? That's not the thing.
That's not talking
right.
because in East Africa, especially when I'm going into Ethiopia, was where the Persians.
I got you. So when I say Israelite, when I go into the term Israelite, right, that's our demographic with the people. Right, we can include the Israelites. We're not speaking to all the nations walking the face of the earth. So we're speaking to the ones right who descend right from Israel. Like I said before, like Ethiopia, right. The Ethiopians, they descend from a man named Ham. Right? Well, go down the line of the push all the way down.
Anyone indirectly?
I think
Anybody indirectly sent?
No. Directly. Like the Lord,
but there are real books. And he's talking about hundreds of books of the descriptions of not only who the Americans, who the Africans, also, yes, all that stuff. Just go, I'm telling you. Y'all go come, if I see you again, you go watch 100 videos, you gonna say, I see what you're saying.
And so they would latch on to their opponents, but I feel like some like it's in the world now that people are different. Like not coming to God is not always directly like indirect. Like indirect paths of how they find God.
okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Let me bring this out.
They don't have nothing
It's
to
the
do
book
with
of Deuteronomy. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
For in the division of the nations,
When the division of the nation, like he's bringing out, right, the Eastern Africa, right, that's the nation, right, go through a man named Ham. That'll be Hamitic people. Right, you got the Shemitic, you got the Jackson, the man that comes from the earth.
America and Africa.
and that's not saying that it's not like that's the only. It's only West African people located in West Africa that's like would fall under the 12 tribes of Israel. Like the Israelites is everywhere, but it's just predominant places where they at kind of like more than other places. So you could, it is places on the east, in East Africa where you got Israelites. There's places in North Africa, South Africa. There's places all over the earth where you got Israelites. It's just in certain places.
Where it's more predominant.
West Africa, that's where we took from by doing slave trade. Right? So there's people over there, right? East Africa, all over the world, where you were born, right? That's blacks, Hispanic, American American.
Says, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people.
Like over every people.
But Israel,
But who?
But
Israel.
Israel
is the Lord's portion.
That's the Lord's portion, right? So the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is the Lord's portion, right? Those are the ones who's going to receive like salvation.
That's what's right.
That's what I mean. If you are so-called African American black people, right? You will make you an Israelite. But if you can't be black, the same color as a hoodie, you can't be African American, right? The name is two white men, right? So according to the Bible, right, you will actually be a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah, right? And with our people, they go to right, they was called by Mr. Name. Right, but nevertheless, what I'm saying is, right, people in the state have a way of placing for people, right, so it's
I thought you bring me to us, Regina.
Right, but you have to do research, right, so you already said, right, probably so-called African American man, so-called black man, so never make the spirit of witness with it, right, that you would be an Israelite, right, from the tribe of Judah. Right, that would be your tribe now, would be, right, who you come from. So you should call yourself, and God calls you to be Israelite. Right, this is translated to the Hebrew to Yashar Allah, which means King Prince God. King Prince of the power of the Most High God.
That's why you guys call everybody king?
What you say? Yeah, we king. Kings walk in the face of the earth, proclaiming us being kings, right? We got our crown taken from us, right? Because we're sin and iniquity, right? So now it's just we go God's commandments, right? Before He comes to another people, right? Who stole the crown from us. Right? We can look at some other Kevlar? Okay.
Egypt in particular was known as Kemet.
Like an actual real name, something like that.
The original name, Kemet. He was named Kemet by the Ethiopians. So traveled to Egypt. The same Ethiopians that had gone to Israel. The same Ethiopians that went to places
So
now,
Just taking my time with it as far as like
before it became Africa. It was called Kimba, and it was United Nations. It was all united. And this one missionary came.
But I'm only asking the same reason the diet of the Bible.
People would trace off the back easy. I can show you what their research is.
No explanation other than that.
That's research. And
So why not?
that's when that man came up with
Who says
something
that?
that
Wait.
and that's when we changed the nation.
Who says not?
So we said the man that came over here and said,
God, they have to get a
Yeah,
job.
then it's a free.
So I'm not saying
so now,
no.
right quick, right, before you
Who told
right, I believe
Did the ox tell me not to do that?
right, going into that land, right, you would have to learn the helm, the land of Shem, the land of Japheth. Like Japheth, right, he'll be the one who will claim Europe. Right, him, he will claim African land, right, and he'll claim on that running the front area, I don't know where. Right, so those are the lands that divided by African men. Right, so before Africa, right, Africa, right, we go into the landmass, right, now, right, which is populated with Africa, right, the flood towards Noah and Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right, and through that, right, that's how, right, you get the lands, right, got spread out, right, and through those two lands. So that's what we believe to be in Israel. Right, so but nevertheless, right, you do your research on that, right, nevertheless, King, right, you gotta understand, right, we can look at the power of the
Book of Lamentations, chapter 5, verse 17. For this our heart is faint.
Yet they represent our God.
Verse 16. The crown is falling from our head.
What?
The
Crown is falling from our head.
The crown is falling from our head. Right?
All the
How
help
we
you
have
have,
a crown of royalty is keeping God in heaven. That's how, right, we have a crown of the kings walking the face of the earth. Right?
The crown is falling from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned.
We have what?
That
We have sinned.
Right? The reason why the crown is falling from our head, we're not kings no more. We're a bottom society. Right? As a nation of people in the hoods get shot down in the streets because we have sinned against our nation. Right? Sin is a transgression of the law. Right? So it's 613 laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? That we got to abide by as a nation of people. We got to keep the responsibility. Right? For our Lord and Savior to come back and redeem us from the end of our captivity.
It's on the flyer you got too. It's on the flyer you got too.
I pray the most I can do it. It's like, right, you do your research, right? You might be one too. All right.
I appreciate you.
I kept a line.
how can we say that God is not already know what? Right? Because
Hey, you know who New Breed is?
the demand does. The demand does. The demand does the same thing that you talk. The same thing that you want. We're not teaching.
You know who New Breed is?